the sugar cane was wilting in the heat of Natal. I was looking for a paycheck, looking for a pal. Then the daughter of the president, she came into town with a smile like a diamond and a promise meant to drown. She said, boys, I got a job for you, security and guard. She's training up in Russia and the work ain't all that hard. So I packed my bag in Durban, kissed my mama at the door, thinking I was learning tactics, not heading for a war. Now I'm desperate in the dawn best, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Lord, get me out of here, back to KZN. We landed in the winter in a place I couldn't name. They handed us a paper, told us sign to play the game. But the letters were all twisted like wire on a fence. I couldn't read a single word, it didn't make no sense. It was Russian on the dotted line, a language made of ice. I signed away my freedom, didn't ask about the price. We thought we'd march and train and drill safe behind the line, but they loaded up the transport trucks and drove us to the mine. Now I'm desperate in the dawn best, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Lord, get me out of here, back to KZN. Now the bullets whiz past my head like angry horned bees. I'm digging in the mud and dirt, shaking on my knees. This ain't no security class, this is the killing floor. I've had enough of fighting, I've had enough of war. Don't want no rubble pavement, don't want no foreign glory. I just wanna live to tell my children this damn story. About the woman coming off the Indian Sea, and a plate of bunny chow waiting there for me. But the artillery is screaming, tearing up the trees, and I'm sending voice notes home begging, help me please. Tell the lady who recruited us she sold us out for dead, while she sits safe in luxury with roof above her head. Yeah, I'm desperate in the dawn best, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Please get me out of here, back to KZN. Take me back to KZN. I can't read the contract, just wanna see the sun again. KZN.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wednesday, November 26, 2025. Welcome back to the program, folks. Chris live in central Pennsylvania for your daily dose, your daily injection, your vaccination, your guardianship, your protection against hyperbole, misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, and state nonsense. Let's check on the sound quality. Disinformation sounds pretty good. Welcome back once again. First off, let me just thank all the people who've been viewing the channel of late. Let me just run through a few stats with you that's very good to hear, but I think it's not going to continue because the G20 is over. But very quickly here, performance from 29 October to 25 November. So viewership is up 110.4% for the channel to 2,213,423 views in that time frame. Watch time is up 71.6% to 166,615 hours of content viewed. And subscribers are up by 195%, having gained 2,340 subscribers over the time period. The click-through rate, which is an important rate based on what YouTube presents to people, is at 8.2%. That's a significant increase as well. Yeah, so YouTube has also actually been promoting the channel a bit more. The impressions are up 101%. That's from YouTube promoting it. So thank you all for that. I do appreciate your participation, your viewership, and it's very kind of you. It does make a big difference, especially with the advertising revenue, because people watch videos. So thank you for that. Just thought I'd share that with you. I pulled those stats earlier today. That's really good. So it's great to see that the interest is there. Hopefully it'll keep up. To all of you who are here, thank you for being loyal viewers. For the hate wankers, welcome to the program. You might learn a few things. Just stick around and have an open mind. There's a few hate wankers out there, no doubt. But it is Wednesday, and it is our earlier broadcast time for the news as a consequence of, ladies and gentlemen, I do Wednesdays with the Colonel with Ronaldo Jose after this. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's coming up after this. You'll be automatically redirected to that stream should you want to watch it. I'm fresh from KP duty. Military personnel know what KP duty is. It's kitchen policing, which means you work in the kitchen. We had, not surprise, a failure with the staff at the Veterans Organization. A gentleman failed to do what he said he would do last night and disappeared and left us hanging, preparing for Thanksgiving dinner this evening for the big event that we have going on. So that was a bit of a disaster. And then he promised to be in this morning, and he didn't show up. And so a team of 8 volunteers showed up, and I spent my morning peeling potatoes, while others wrapped silverware, dressed turkeys, and did dishes. So I think we're going to shut down our kitchen indefinitely. We can't count on anyone. And there may be a host of sackings coming in the near future. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the news. Plenty to talk about, as always. It's a never-ending story here. First off, the Department of Homeland Security is going to revet 233,000 Biden-era refugees. Why? Because pervasive fraud, something I've been telling you about for a long time. I told you during the time the Biden regime was in office, this crooked criminal enterprise known as the Biden crime family, running the White House, but not really running it by a bunch of apparatchiks, that they were a criminal enterprise and that they were bringing people in this country illegitimately, not doing background checks, not doing vetting of these people. And this is what the Justice Department has determined. So now Homeland Security is being charged with going through 233,000 cases of refugees. Once again, if you're a refugee aspirant from South Africa, let me just be very clear. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Eudora. Thank you for your membership. Let me be very, very clear if you're a refugee aspirant, that has nothing to do with you. The only way your refugee status can be revoked is through 2 possibilities. Number 1, should the underlying conditions that create a refugee status, because it's not meant for you to resettle another country, we allow people to do it, but that's not the intent of it. The intent is to provide protection because you meet certain criteria from being slaughtered, from being persecuted. The intent is once the underlying conditions, thank you, Vilma, for your 13 months. Once the underlying condition is improved, so for instance, say South Africa removed 145 racist laws, well, then the conditions have improved. There's no reason for you to stay in America. So that seems implausible. That's the only reason they could take it away. The second reason they could take it away is you've committed fraud, which many of these people did commit fraud, or the Biden regime on their behalf committed fraud. Therefore, the case is being reviewed. So if you're honest, as I've told people to be since the 7th of February, if you're honest and you tell the truth and you don't hold back and you don't embellish, then you will be fine. You will be fine. All right, so now I also have to admonish people who are interested in the refugee program. This is not a refugee broadcast. I'm not going to go on about it, but this is newsworthy right now. Leftist hate wankers are taking screen captures from idiots who think that they get to immigrate to America. I'm getting tired of this, these economic migrants who happen to be white for the most part, going on and talking about going on vacation. If you are a refugee, it is because your life is in jeopardy. It is because you're suffering from unjust persecution, which prevents you from reaching self-actualization. It is because you're being persecuted. It's not because you don't like your job or you want to live in Florida near Disneyland or you want to come home. When you're a refugee, you are fleeing. Get that through your head. I'm sick and tired of these idiots who profess to be refugee wannabes posting this nonsense so that people are acting, oh, look at these refugees are coming up. They're not coming back. Read their idiotic post. Well, if we go to the refugee park, can we come back on vacation? Are you high? Are you freaking high? Seriously. comeback vacation. Do you understand the term refugee? Someone seeking refuge. You need refuge if you're fleeing from something. In this case, unjust racial persecution. That's what a refugee is. You're not a destination shopper. If that's your goal, then stay in South Africa. You have no business coming to this country. Good Lord. Good Lord. Someone asked on a legal page of all pages. It's probably a setup. It's probably not even a real person. Probably not even a real person. This is all leftist nonsense. But I know it's not leftist nonsense because I deal with people from the very beginning talking about, well, can I come? I had another guy, and I'm not picking on you, and this isn't directed at you, but one guy said to me, listen, I have a lot of professional books. How will the government ship them over for me? What are you talking about? Ship your professional books. And then the next thing is, so how do I arrange it? Because I have to come back 4 times a year for the work that I do. Come back? Dude, what are you talking about? Apparently you're not a refugee. Stop it. Stay in South Africa. Unbelievable. The Department of Homeland Security will revet all refugees that Biden admitted to the United States. All 233,000. The Trump administration is planning to revet hundreds of thousands of refugees allowed into the U.S. during the Biden administration, drawing a fierce rebuke from immigration groups who call it an insult to people who are escaping horrors. The problem with those people making that statement is that the Biden regime did commit fraud. So it's too bad that, and I've already covered this, some of these people are legitimate refugees. Unfortunately, they were admitted illegitimately. This reckless approach undermined the integrity of our immigration system and jeopardized the safety and security of the American people, said Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Corrective action is now being taken to ensure that those who are present in the United States deserve to be here. More than 230,000 refugees were resettled between January 2020 and February 2025, the cutoff date according to the memo. All refugees admitted under the Biden administration are currently seeking to gain permanent legal status or a green card are also having their applications halted. The effort naturally drew denunciations from immigration groups who said it would put refugees through fresh pain. This policy would needlessly re-traumatize refugees who survive unimaginable horrors, have waited decades in some cases for resettlement, and have just begun to rebuild their lives in the United States, creating bonds with local communities, workplaces, and faith groups, says Kelly Orizik, Vice President of the International Rescue Committee. Church World Service, another refugee resettlement group called the revetting dystopian in nature, useless in practice, and cruel at heart. And I will call Church World Services racist and bigots to the core. Unrelated to their comment, but that's who they are. That's who they are. And propagandists of the highest order, Church World Service. Also, an opaque organization that refuses to speak to the media. Funny how they speak to the Washington Times about this when they refuse interviews. John Steenhuisen is on the case, ladies and gentlemen. If you work in the cattle industry in South Africa, rest assured, John is coming to the rescue. The Minister of Agriculture, 7 months after a foot and mouth disease breaks out, has a plan. They have a plan. They're going to help you with your cattle 7 months later. Devastation being wrought throughout South Africa in 5 provinces. Steenhuisen announces critical policy shift to deal with outbreak in South Africa. Let me ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. What policy needs to be shifted? What policy needs to be shifted? Does South Africa, in a region of the continent where foot and mouth disease is endemic, it occurs repeatedly in Zimbabwe, in Angola, in Namibia, in South Africa, in Mozambique, in a region where it occurs periodically, endemically, South Africa doesn't have a master plan for dealing with it. They don't have a stockpile of vaccine on hand. They don't have people on call to do vaccinations. They don't have quarantine measures that are pre-planned. They don't have places where gates are shut down, where routes are shut down, where transport animals are already pre-planned. Do they not have a plan? Really? 7 months after this broke out? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, on the 25th of June, I contacted John Steenhuisen's office and requested an interview before the major outbreak was reported in July, the 25th of June, giving him an opportunity to come on the program, which has millions of views, and many of them are South African, to let the public know what the ministry was doing. And quite frankly, it was a softball offer because in June, he had only been in the position less than a year. He could easily argue that this was a problem created by the past, which was true. But as usual with John Steenhuisen, no response. I was promised, yes, he'll be on. Then I wrote back on July 1st, and I said, he's busy at the moment because of this, that, and the other. We'll do it. Then July 8th, 3 offers to provide a platform for the Minister of Agriculture to explain what is happening with foot and mouth disease before it metastasized and became the prevalent problem that it is now. 3 times blown off. That makes now, I believe, if I remember count correctly, 14 times over the past 5 or 6 years that I've offered a platform for Mr. Steenhuisen to come on the program and discuss issues. This is a critically important issue, and he's the Minister of Agriculture. But the Minister of Agriculture now has a plan. So rest assured, folks, it's all going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. Yep, that's right, Transvaal Republic, because they ruined Onderstpoort. Yep, and that's part of the problem. South Africa does not have the capacity to deliver the vaccine doses necessary for its 7.2 million herd. Yep. The Department of Agriculture has resolved to implement a comprehensive strategy to vaccinate the entire national herd. They've resolved to implement a comprehensive strategy April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 8 months if I include April. But we just go back to May when they reported media. That's 7 months. 7 months. They now have a policy in place to now go forward so that by February of 2026, nearly a year after the outbreak of foot and mouth disease, they are going to solve the problem. Really? Yeah, feed the cattle beetroot. It's unbelievable. This is what you pay for in governance? The strategy aims to vaccinate South Africa's national herd systemically, beginning with the hardest hit provinces. Reporting from the conference, Chief Economist of the Agricultural Business Chamber of South Africa, Windile Silobo, said the vaccination plan would be a massive undertaking, but it was courageous given the threat of the diseases. Courageous. Do you know what would be courageous? To have a functioning government. To have a government that's proactive, the government that predicts and projects future problems. I can tell you the jihad is a problem. I can tell you that people immigrating to this country illicitly are members of Islamic Jihad and other organizations. Therefore, I have a plan on how I would prevent that from happening, how I would find those people operating in this country, and how we would prosecute and punish them. I have a plan. I'm not even in government. I can articulate my plan in a half an hour, clearly lay out all the steps that need to be taken within the confines of the law. I'm not in government. How is it that someone that's in government, how is it that a ministry dedicated to agriculture, a critical component of South Africa's economy, how is it the Ministry of Agriculture has no plan? That may not be John Steenhuisen's fault, but he's had 7 months. 7 months. Who is working for him? Does he have people working for him? Do they do anything? Or do they simply sit around and collect paychecks? Currently, South Africa is working to relieve the Agricultural Research Council, revive it, and the Onderstpoort biological products to produce the essential vaccine. But the path must be not end there. We need the private sector involved. The private sector, the same sector that you racist laws prevent people from getting in the business of. I mean, after all, unless you give your equity up to someone who's black, then you can't get a contract with the government to deliver these vaccines. So why would the private sector invest in this? These people are dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Yes, and I see this comment was there a moment ago. The farms we have interest in Limpopo was quarantined 5 months ago, and we still haven't been able to organize a meeting with Don for the entire time. Yep. Willem Kotzen, thank you for your subscription there. Yeah, no, this is the reality, folks. This is the absent-minded minister. So we were told multiple things about the firing of Deon George. Look, I have no affinity for Deon George. I'm not defending him. But we were told many reasons why he was fired. Among them, we were told that he was incompetent, he was aloof, and yeah, he's incompetent and aloof. So, aloof, unreachable, uncommunicative. Does that sound like a ministry you know? Incompetent. Does that sound like another ministry you know? That's the reason why this guy was fired. Deon George, maybe another minister needs to be in the hopper. A bunch of horsemen are current farmers responsible. Government wants to import from Botswana, which are not the same as viruses South Africa. Are you telling me what I'm saying is horse manure, Lawrence? Are you telling me what I'm saying is horse manure? The government claims they've vaccinated 933,000 head of cattle in the last 3 months with vaccine from Botswana. So, and what are you telling me? I mean, your message is unclear, Lawrence. What is horse manure? Am I spreading horse manure? Please be clear on your statement. So when a politician without a university degree tries to run a department he doesn't understand. Common sense isn't common sense out there anymore. Government officials are more worried about whether they'll have beef or chicken for lunch. Yep. Eudora, thank you for the 14 Rand super chat. Right. One reason is also because he's a U.S. citizen. ANC is pulling stops to antagonize U.S. Who's a U.S. citizen? Deon George? I don't think it has anything to do with it. Steenhuisen announces blanket foot and mouth vaccination for South Africa's 7.2 million head of cattle. 2 consignments of 2 million vaccines, hoping to produce 1.5 million locally by February of next year. That's 4 months away, folks. 3 months. You don't need a degree to do a good job, correct? The presidency is silent on 17 mercenaries trapped in a combat zone in Ukraine. Families are desperate for answers, with some of the men trapped in the Donbass region after allegedly being lured into false pretenses. False pretenses look to me like they're pretty comfortable wearing those uniforms and carrying those rifles, taking selfies right there. They look pretty happy to me. The president's refused to comment on the fate of 17 South African men allegedly recruited to fight in Russia's war against Ukraine. And Dirk says that Botswana has already informed South Africa they need to restock their own supplies because they are Botswana protects its beef herd very carefully. As I said in my video that I produced earlier this morning, that when I lived in Botswana, the Botswana Police Services, BPS, if cattle rustlers came into Botswana and they got cattle and any of them made it across the border, none were allowed to come back because too many cases of foot and mouth disease in Zimbabwe. They're that protective of their herd. They just reimbursed the people who were robbed. Oh, thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, I didn't think it was me. That's why I asked for clarity. Yeah, please email me so I have more information on that. Yep. So the little mercenaries, I guess it's okay for them to be mercenaries because they're the right skin pigmentation, right? You're allowed to be black and violate the law and go to Ukraine. Or are you? Desperate in the Donbass. He trusted Auntie Doo-Doo, but his mom, Auntie Doo-Doo, you guys laugh when I call her Doo-Doo, Auntie Doo-Doo, but his mom hasn't heard from him in 3 months. His mom, he's an adult. His mommy got to follow him? My goodness. A 19-year-old from Botswana and his 20-year-old cousin were allegedly deceived into joining a military training program in Russia with promises of an educational opportunity organized by Doo-Doo Head. In August, since they have been there since August, lost contact. Wow. We don't even know if they're alive. But look, there's another selfie. That's on top of the one I just showed you. That's a different picture. The white guy's down in front now. Or in the middle. Wow. There's more to the story. Desperate in the Donbass, Dudazilla is now laying countercharge against the fellow recruiter who helped hoodwink these people into this. But were they hoodwinked? I doubt they were hoodwinked. I suspect they went with the full knowledge they were going to a war zone and they realized it's actually deadly and don't want to be there anymore. Yeah. Well, how about this? The Road Accident Fund, which has no money and takes money off your petrol, over 2 rand per liter. The Road Accident Fund is a slush fund. Yeah, it's a patronage puppy outlet. And what do these patronage puppies do? Give themselves bonuses for failing South Africa. Executives in Battle Road Accident Fund have given themselves $6.74 million in performance bonuses, with the controversial former CEO getting $2.8 million. How the hell do you get a performance bonus when you're failing? This is ridiculous. This is a state-run enterprise. Fikile Mabalula has gotten a gag order. Not against me. I didn't say anything. Against Brown Mokhotsi, the guy who tells tall tales in front of the Mshlanga Commission. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabalula secured a legal victory after a High Court in Pretoria granted a far-reaching gag order against Brown Mokhotsi. The Rustenburg businessman was ordered to retract and remove a series of serious allegations the court ruled were false, defamatory, and unlawful. Well, how don't you send him in jail then, or fine him? The order signed by Judge Jacobus Strijdom comes after Mabulula opened a case in October about remarks during a Newsroom Africa interview. Wow. Strijdom said that Mohosi had to issue a full retraction within 48 hours, delete all related posts on social media, and remove the allegations from any platform where they appear. Well, deleting all related posts on social media is going to be a little bit hard because people retweet it. You have no control over what they retweet, so the judge doesn't know what he's talking about. Yep. So, Fikile Mabalula gets a court victory. Will the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act come back? No, it's not. Don't get too excited about it. So, The legislation that Senator Kennedy introduced to extend a go for 2 years requires that the Bilateral Relations Review Act that he put out be put into play with a look at sanctioning South Africa's leadership. Yeah. So don't count on this happening anytime soon, folks. Not going to happen anytime soon. Well, a fantastic summit. Oh, we must pat ourselves on the back. We did such a wonderful job. It's lovely. Did you see the G20 summit? It was so lovely. So lovely. It was fabulous. Fantastic. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Wonderful. That's what it was. Oh my goodness. Cyril put Donald Trump in his place. It was so incredible. Cyril was so clever. He was so clever. He announced the final declaration of consensus, even though 2 countries didn't agree to it. Yes, even though 6 heads of state weren't present, but he did it first. Yes, well done, Cyril. Cyril, go Cyril, go Cyril, go Cyril. Yeah, yay, Cyril Ramaphosa. Yes, our hero. Oh, but Peter Bruce says a crack has appeared in the G20 edifice that may be difficult, if not impossible, to repair. Yes, you see, Argentina didn't agree to it, nor did the United States. It's not a trans voice. That's an assumption on your part. Not a trans voice. That is a sarcastic voice. If there is an opening, I will step forward. I will stand. I will answer the call. Will you answer the call? Will you answer the call? Helen will answer the call. Helen Zilla, afraid to come on this channel. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. If there were to be a vacancy, Zilla hints at Joburg mayor race. She says, there's a vacancy on the city council. Don't make one for me, but if there's a vacancy, I'm there. Sign me up. All right, well, maybe that's good news for the city of Johannesburg. She's a heck of a politician. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. The political killings task team has cost the taxpayer 435 million rand. Wow. $435 million rand. That's a lot of money, folks. Nearly as much money is spent on the political killings task team as money spent to battle gangs in Cape Town. Can you believe that? Since 2018. Wow. They've spent all that money. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because most of the victims of political killings are ANC members. So they spend $435 million investigating the murder of 75, 100 ANC politicians, but they spend nothing investigating farm murders, and they cover them up. And they spend less than that dealing with gang violence in the Cape Flats, which kills far more people. 6 Springboks make the World Rugby Dream Team. Malcolm Marx, Oxenche, Thomas Dutoy, the Train, Peter Steph Dutoy, former 2-time World Rugby winner, Sasha Feinberg Unguzulu, and Cheslin Colby have made the Dream Team. But New Zealand missed out and France missed out, especially France, because of the rotation of getting new blood out there. They didn't give enough people enough tests to prove that they could get it done. Neighboring Eswatini, the e-commerce capital of Africa, Eswatini, sarcasm for those who didn't catch that, has been paid $5.1 million to take those criminal alien invaders off the U.S.'s hands. The second China-Africa Forum on Green Energy, Science, and Technology was held in Joburg. Yay! Congratulations. From the 24th to tomorrow. The second was held. Successfully held. It's being held. It's still underway. Hosted by Shandong Jiangsu University, organized by the University of Joburg, and coordinated by the Shandong International Talent Exchange Service Center, was successfully held in Joburg. It's still being going on. How can it have been held? It isn't the 27th yet. How can it be held? It's being held. During the opening ceremony, remarks were delivered by Comfort Nkambule, Vice President of the South African Chemical Institute, Yang Min, Director of the Shandong International Talent Exchange Service Center, Olawale Abdebo, Deputy Director of Global Cooperation, Office of the University of Johannesburg, and Professor Liping Ki, Vice President of Shandong University. Speakers know that China and Africa have broad prospects for cooperation in green technologies, green governance, and industrial upgrading. Yeah, sure. Thanks for sharing. Tanzania is set to build a new port north of Dar es Salaam. I'm wondering if it's around Tanga. It will be the deepest port on the East African coast. Capacity to handle 25,000 container ships. That's a big ship. 20 meters in depth. Larger than any port in the East Africa region. Does that include Durban? It's Southern Africa, but do they consider East Africa? Volcano erupted in Ethiopia this week after 12,000 years of silence. Pretty crazy. First time in 12,000 years that this thing, and it blew ash all over the Middle East, Yemen, and the Saudi Peninsula. Nigeria's President Tinubu says he's strengthening military ties to the U.S. after Trump's threats to intervene to protect Christians. They announced a strengthening security partnership with the United States following high-level talks in Washington. No details given on what that actually means. We already share intelligence with the Nigerians. We also conduct special operations there from time to time, so I'm not sure what that means. A Republican senator has introduced a bill to protect Benjamin Netanyahu from arrest from out-of-control authorities in New York City, should he come. Republican senator has introduced legislation that would punish any U.S. municipality that enforces International Criminal Court arrest warrant against an official of the U.S. ally, a move aimed at protecting Benjamin Netanyahu. Senator Ted Budd, North Carolina, introduced the American Allies Protection Act, which would disqualify a state or local government from receiving Department of Justice grant money for a 4-year period if it enforces an ICC warrant. He proposed the legislation in wake of Mr. Mandami's repeated promises he would order the arrest of Mr. Netanyahu as prime minister. So I will tell you what, I'm calling for this now. Should Zoran the Moran Mamdani seek to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, the head of a state, he needs to be arrested for his illegality. The United States is not a signatory to the Rome Statute. We are not subject to the Rome Statute. We have no obligation to turn anyone over to the ICC. And if Mamdani attempts that, he will regret it. He can run his K-Cole all day long, but he has no legal authority or basis to take such action. And should someone like that arrest a foreign head of state on U.S. soil, they should be locked up and the key should be thrown away. Unbelievable. We are not a party to the Rome Statute. 15 countries have signed a declaration, a statement urging the end of serious human rights violations in China. The United States joined 14 countries in issuing a joint statement calling for the immediate release of all individuals unjustly detained by the communists for exercising their fundamental freedoms. The statement highlights the Communist Party's persistent use of detention, forced labor, mass surveillance, and restrictions on religious and cultural expression, calling these practices a concern. These was signed by Albania, Australia, Czech Republic, Estonia, Israel, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, North Macedonia, Palau, Paraguay, San Marino, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The United States has provided South Africa $8.1 billion to fight HIV over the past 22 years. China, getting good press, jumps into the story, and they're going to offer $3.9 million spread over 2 years. Less than 1.25 billion. I mean, million per year. We've given 8.1 billion. This is how they're going to help. And they'll get all the positive press, and people don't even realize the American taxpayer has been footing the bill for South Africa. $3.9 million when we've given $8.1 billion. They'll get the positive press. A fire rages through a Hong Kong bamboo scaffolding high-rise industrial complex, killing 4 people. A fire spread across multiple high-rise apartment buildings in a Hong Kong housing complex, went to killing 4 people, leaving others trapped inside. Video from the scene showed at least 5 buildings close to each other ablaze with bright flames and smoke shooting out of many apartment windows as night fell. Firefighters were aiming water at the intense flames from high up on ladder trucks. High up, it's not even a third of the way up the building. Video from the scene showed at least 5 buildings ablaze. The raging fire sent up a column of flames and thick smoke as it spread on bamboo scaffolding and construction netting that had been set up around the exterior of the complex in Tau Pau district. Records show the housing complex consisted of 8 blocks with almost 2,000 apartments housing 4,800 people. The Hong Kong government reported 4 deaths and 5 other people were hospitalized. I've given up thinking about my property, a resident who was only provided his surname told the news. Watching it burned like that was really frustrating. It's a suburban area in the New Territories in the northern part of Hong Kong and near the border with mainland Chinese city of Shenzhen. This is what happens when the Chinese take over. Irresponsibility. I don't recall seeing these fires when Hong Kong was under British control. The United States has done a temporary protected status for the nationals of Burma, saying conditions have improved, so those with TPS can go home. Those with TDS can go to hell. U.S. jobless claims have declined. The number of people out of work seeking unemployment compensation has declined. 13 deaths now. Continuing claims remain above 1.9 million for 6 straight months. Unexpectedly fall to the lowest level since April. But where is the media talking about this other than the Epic Times? Federal worker jobless claims fell by nearly 4,000 previous week, coming in at 1,724, reflecting the end of the U.S. government shutdown. Well, there you go, folks. What is going on? Someone named Thunder? Seeing older people in the groups and seem to be taking younger. Maybe we have more crap. Crew escape before our name comes up. You're talking about refugees. That's not the time. You have to wait till we're done. This is a news broadcast. You want to talk about refugees, please be patient. Major Supreme Court disputes weight rulings on the tariffs. Trump is asking the Supreme Court to make a quick decision on the tariffs as revenue is essential for America. Trump says he's not inclined to extend the Obamacare subsidies. Yes, because it's not a viable program. President Trump said November 25th he's not inclined to extend the Affordable Care Act health insurance subsidies, which are set to lapse on December 31st. Well, why should we negotiate that? Get rid of the whole plan. It's all nonsense. Republicans seek to lower health care costs by paying the person directly, not the insurance companies. Republicans are floating proposals to address the spike in health care premiums that Americans' Obamacare insurance plans will face next year if Congress doesn't act. Some of the plans feature health savings accounts known as HSAs, a powerful tax advantage vehicle used by millions of Americans. In 2026, premiums are set to soar an average of 114%, or $1,016 for 22 million of people enrolled in the single-payer scam that the Democrats have created to bury this country in debt and cause it to collapse. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is actually doing things to make health care affordable. Medicare slashes prices for 15 prescription drugs. The latest price cuts amount to $12 billion in savings, according to Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Medicare officials announced on November 25th to negotiate price for 15 of the program's most expensive drugs, anticipating a 44% decrease compared to last year's price, resulting in savings of $12 billion. They go into effect at the start of 2027. Annual price negotiations allow the centers to bargain directly with pharmaceutical companies. This year's reductions include Novo Nordisk semaglutide, which is marketed as Ozempic for diabetes, and Wegovy for weight loss. Drops $274 a month. That's lower than the recent price of $428 for Ozempic, according to a fact sheet, and much less expensive than the $959 price before rebates. President Trump directed us to stop at nothing to lower health care costs for the American people, said Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy. As we work to make America healthy again, we will use every tool at our disposal to deliver affordable health care to seniors. Negotiated savings rates range from 38 to 85% price reduction under Donald Trump. Democrats talk about the high cost of medicine and have done nothing about it. Donald Trump has done something about it. Donald Trump has done something about it, folks. The Pentagon is investigating Senator Mark Kelly, the astronaut, who violated his oath and encouraged sedition. Yes, he encouraged sedition. He claims he didn't, but of course he did. Army Intel Chief warns of foreign agents preying on troops that were harmed by the government shutdown. The Army's outgoing intelligence chief is warning about foreign agents posing as consulting firms or corporate recruiters who are targeting soldiers seeking civilian employment opportunities. The message from Lieutenant General Anthony Hale, the Army's Deputy Chief of Staff for Intelligence, sent to more than 1.1 million soldiers and civilian employees, and underscored the widespread nature of the threat and need to protect sensitive information. Foreign governments capitalize on the recent government shutdown and lapse in appropriations to identify military personnel seeking employment opportunities. They offer jobs or easy money to write white papers or provide information with the intent to collect sensitive information for the benefit of the country at the cost of our own. If the offer seems flattering, urgent, exclusive, or too good to be true, it probably is. General Hale offered the example of former Army intelligence analyst Corbin Schultz, 25, who was sentenced to 7 years in prison in April for pleading guilty to conspiring to collect and transmit top-secret military information to someone he believed was affiliated with the Chinese government. This defendant swore an oath to defend the United States. Instead, he betrayed it for a payout and put America's military and service members at risk, Attorney General Pam Bondi said. Military personnel who hold security clearances are legally obliged to protect classified information after they leave government service. Any compensation from sources outside this government must be reported to their supervisor. Well, that's partially true. That's partially true. I don't have to report any income from foreign sources. That's nonsense. CARE sues Texas over the designation of them as a terrorist organization. The Council for American Islamic Relations is designated a terrorist group by the state of Texas, and that's hurting their feelings. That's really hurting their feelings. The Trump administration is going to compensate soybean farmers because of the China situation. They'll roll out aid to farmers, and the soybean sales are picking up once again to China. And that's going to be the news for today. All right, folks, there you have it. 419 people currently here. Be sure to hit the like button. For all the people celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, please enjoy your day. Well, Lynn, I'm celebrating today and tomorrow because of the event we have with the Veterans Organization. Ukraine also agreed to a peace deal with Russia to respond. Yes, but there's some tweaking needs to be done. That's why I didn't run with that story. I do have that story here, but I didn't run with it because it's unclear what's going to happen in that story. So let's wait and see what's happening there, okay? I have not heard back from Emily Schrader, unfortunately. For those curious about an interview with her, I have heard from... I asked Steve Hofmeyer to come back on the channel. Steve has agreed to come on the channel. We're working out a time now, possibly next Monday. So waiting to see. Let me see if he's responded to that message. No. Who's this? Who the hell is that? No idea who this is. Oh, okay, cool. All right, Steve will be on. Okay, so... All right, folks, so there's an announcement. Next week on Monday, Steve Hofmeyer will be on the program. Okay? So we'll set that. All right, Steve is confirmed. Also, Gideon from Paratus will be on the program Thursday, I believe it is. Yep, he'll be on Thursday. And on Sunday, we have another refugee. So that's three. We have an interview on Thursday. Tomorrow, we have one on Sunday, and we have one on Monday confirmed. I'm waiting for Fridays to be confirmed. Saw a video of a farmer who lost 4 feet of the season. Yep. Oh, nice. Won't miss that, okay? We're going to wash as the other, and that's how the world should work. Yeah, Steve hasn't been on the program since August of 2020. I've seen Steve many times, but he hasn't been on the program. And they state one must check on U.S. code, which applies to Kelly and his insurrection. U.S. code 2387. U.S. code 2387. U.S. code 2387. Title 18, Section 2387 makes a crime to incite disloyalty. Yeah, exactly. That is correct. Yeah, Title 18, Section 2387 is what you're talking about. Yep. So, whoever with intent to interfere or impair, influence the loyalty, morale. Hang on a second. What's going on? What's this thing? They're trying to raise money. Whoever with intent to interfere with, impair, or influence loyalty, morale, or discipline of the military or naval force of the United States, advises, counsel, urges in any manner, causes disrupts to cause insubordination, disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal to duty for any member. Yep. Shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Title 18, Section 2387. That's what you're talking about. That's what I said. I didn't cite the code, but I told people it's illegal to do what they did. Years ago, rumors, Steve. Okay. Haha, funny joke, Anton. You're telling me to watch the interview on Matt Talibi, but you haven't watched it. Oh, you haven't watched it all. Okay. You sent me a WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that information. Foot and mouth vaccine costs 180 animal per year. If remains endemic after seeing the strict movement control affecting. Yep. What are your thoughts on farmers in the U.S. complaining about the government bailing out agribusiness in Argentina whilst they're stuck at home? Well, my thoughts are I don't really get it. The U.S. is not bailing out agribusiness. We aren't supplying 20 billion of the 40 billion that was promised. The banks aren't going to do it. So I don't know what they're complaining about. So I'd have to have more information to make a comment on that. Have to have more information. Oh, Max, I missed your super chat. Thank you. That's because the thing was turned off. Let me turn it back on. Alert box. Vietnamese delegation and police robbed Lusufi. Said the Vietnamese delegation was also pickpocketed. The highly successful G20 summit. While South Africa was hosting the G20 summit has been lauded success, the event was marred by dramatic events, including crime, negotiated transactions, outages, potholes, and broken streetlights. In a press briefing Tuesday, Gauteng Premier Lusufi said there were 100,799 arrests in the week leading up to the summit. He said during the flagship meeting, police had to deal with a case of trespassing against members of Operation Dudula. We know that. Meanwhile, their colleagues were helping negotiate a business transaction gone wrong across town. Two pilots from Brazil who were in an Uber with two ladies whom they met in an entertainment area, whorehouse. After failing to agree to a certain transaction with these ladies, the two pilots decided to leave the Uber and wanted to walk to Kempton Park from Santon. Kempton Park from Santon? But police intercepted them and they managed to provide the necessary support. They resolved the matter with the ladies involved. They agreed to a reduced transaction. So the police facilitated prostitution. 4 a.m. Vietnamese delegation police robbed. Lusufi said the Vietnamese delegation was also pickpocketed at the Checkers in Santon City. Their mobile phones and some luggage were taken. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. The citizen. Pickpockets. Well, look, that's to be expected, folks. I mean, we can't pick on them for that. Yeah, Bos Barats tomorrow too. Thank you for that, Deanie. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Too many crickets. Yeah, tomorrow's a busy day. Yep, let me get that. So here we go. Here's the link to that for tomorrow. Okay, here's the link to Bosparad for tomorrow. I'll be speaking on that. Forgot about that. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I'll do my news early tomorrow as well. So that's there for tomorrow. And here you go. Here you go. Thursday, November 27th. So that's tomorrow, folks. You can tune in and catch us there on Vantage Channel. Frank discussion with between Colonel retired Chris Wyatt, Vantage Dutoy, and Robin Gimpsey about the feud between USA, South Africa, G20. And future relationship between the two countries. All right, cool beans. Join us tomorrow for that, folks. You're welcome to do that. Okay, thank you, Mad Max, for that story. I appreciate that. 70 Rand. Who is Steve? Wishing all those celebrate. Okay. Mad Max. This girl hit it right, okay? This girl hit what right? This is an outrage. Well... Yeah, well, I'm waiting for her to get back to me.
When South Africa brings Gazans into the country, it's humanitarian. But when Israel does it, they call it ethnic cleansing. Welcome to Axis of Truth. I'm Emily Schrader, and boy, do we have some insane stories to break down today. I just got back from the UK after taking on a well-known Hamas associate from South Africa on live TV, and let's just say that he did not walk away smiling. We're breaking down that debate, exposing how South Africa has turned itself into a Hamas playground.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm trying to get on the channel, folks. We got 349 likes. Okay. We will miss you. Do the veteran organization event tomorrow. No, it's today, Werner. That event is today. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. The event is today. After Ronaldo and I do our thing, I'm leaving and going to the Veterans Organization, and that's where I'll be for the rest of the day, up until about midnight. Dana Maverick has President Trump under Villain of the Year. Really? Really? Let's see that. So we'll go to Dana Maverick. I didn't see that. I didn't check Dana Maverick this morning. I was in a hurry. That's not what I want. Okay. Villain of the Year. I don't see that. I don't see it. Maybe it's there, but I don't see it. Okay. If John didn't have so much credit card debt, he might have been able to. Ukraine also agreed to peace deal. Yeah, I already talked about that. Trump is starting to slow down, too. His age is catching up to him. Jonathan Tunder, I watch all the videos, but there's never been that discussion. Don't stress. Never been what discussion? Okay. Is it okay to complete? Yolanda, I don't recall what we talked about. Why wouldn't you complete your application? Just get it done. Okay. Gondwana days, no funds. What's this? Okay. What? I'm looking for this Tunder gentleman. What's his question? Anthea, welcome to you. Spicy Tunes. Hello, hello. Rudolph Skeppers. Marna Barnard. Alan. Okay. Only got on now. I see Venom Petzer has something on about how Go extended. No, it's not true. Go has not been extended. Who's telling you that? That's a fairy tale. Go has not been extended. It has not been extended. It has not been extended. That's a fairy tale. AGOA is dead. It ended 30 September. Asking as I've seen many older people in groups seem to be taking younger. Maybe we have more crap to investigate before our name comes up. Johan. Okay, so yeah, Johan, I got to find where your question is here. I'm still not there yet. It's so far back here. I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Stupid question. Is there a preferred date? No. Okay. What do you mean it's never been addressed? It has been addressed, Johan. That has been addressed thousands of times. From the very beginning, I heard, what, I can't go. I have cancer. I can't go. I have MS. I can't go. I'm confined to a wheelchair. I can't go. I'm retired. It has been addressed many times. It does not matter. Also, the people I've interviewed people who are retired, who are refugees in America. I'm interviewing another person who is, if not retired, close to retirement age, on Sunday. Okay. Please listen, people. Please listen. This is not an immigration program. Stop equating immigration standards with refugee status. Stop equating police checks with visas to visit your family in Australia. This is not a holiday. This is not immigration. This is for people who are suffering from persecution. We don't go into camps in Kenya and go, give me the hottie, give me the physically fit young guy, give me the other hottie, okay, the rest of you, screw you. You're too old, you're too broken, we don't want you. It is not about that. It is a burden on the American people. We bring people who are unproductive to this country, who are incapable of working, and we put them in our society. They aren't taking younger people over older people. That is a false perception on your part. I have told you to get out of the groups. Stay out of the groups. No one wants to listen to me. You all want to go in groups and listen to the bullshit that's going on there and make false assumptions about the program. Like the people who were bumped. Do you know how many emails I've got in the past 24 hours from people saying, I've been bumped. They're not taking people. That's a lie. That's a lie. I can confirm that Monday, refugees arrived in Pennsylvania who were supposed to fly in October and were bumped. So what does that mean? That means obviously they've gone back and contacted someone. The fact they haven't gotten to you doesn't mean that they're not going to get to you. It means that they've done someone else ahead of you. It's as simple as that. The fact that you're falsely believing that only young people are going is fiction. It's a false perception on your part, presumably fueled by listening to bullshit in Facebook or WhatsApp groups. Leave those places. Leave them. Old people, physically incapable people. Erica would be here now, but she asked not to go yet. She's not confined, but she uses a wheelchair to get around. But Erica's had 2 strokes and is not in great health. She's approved to come over here. She would have already been here. except she asked to go with a family that isn't ready to go yet. Ronaldo, you're like 17, not 69. Thank you for the super chat, Skinflint. It's not a stupid question, Johan. It's not a stupid question, but it has been addressed many, many times, many, many times. Many, many times. For a polyglot, you have a terrible Chinese accent. I'm not doing a Chinese accent. What are you talking about? At least Uma Helen cares enough to take on this challenge. Yeah, well, good for her. It's a poison chalice. Thank you, Anthony. It'd be great if we could just be able to tell the truth without fear of being attacked by idiots. Well, I get attacked by idiots every day. After the emotions settled a bit, the Irish media and podcasters have started to acknowledge how ruthless the Boks were. Yeah, they were ruthless, but they should have scored so many more points. 7 trips within 5 meters, and they turned it over every time. Yep, Malcolm Marks rocks. Can America deny Saudi access to G20 next year? Yeah, America can deny, but then that just escalates something. I don't think they can boot them from it, but they can deny them access in the country. But then other people might not come. Sebby Struthers, what's going on? ANC at 37%. I would think they'd be lower than that. All right, what am I missing here that's happened since then? Folks, you are straining the Colonel's brain. You're asking the right person, but listening to some of the Colonel's previous videos will help you all the more, says Keith. Really interesting speech on YouTube today. The Brigitte Gabriel speech. Okay, I don't know who that is. I think Mainstream Mania is saying YouTube, saying a go extended for some countries. No, it's not. It's misinformation. A go has not been extended. It's a lie. It's a lie. Let me go look and see if I'm wrong. I'll see if there's a news story. The African Growth Opportunity Act expired on September 30th and has not been renewed. U.S. Congress currently considering its future. I said it wasn't renewed. There you go. There you go. Super chat coming in. Thank you for the super chat. 35 Rand. Emil Bernard Oosthuizen. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, people are spreading. See, this is clickbait. I'm a little sick of it. People putting clickbait out there. It's lies. Total lies. I left the general WhatsApp group, the Hauteng group, and blocked the Facebook group notifications. People lose their bloody minds. They do. Yeah, thank you, Dirk. Every Sunday, I do a refugee cafe clutch, and we talk about these issues, and I answer the same questions over and over again. But yeah. Algo is still running. Algo is not Algo, though. Steve will be at the Potchefstroom Friday at an orphanage. Okay, I didn't know he was going to be there. Thank you for sharing that. Here comes the heart attack. Are you having a heart attack, Ronaldo? Are you having chest pains? You having chest pains? Look, I've got a Cardio Mobile if you want to use it. You can just, here. I bought myself one of these. They were on sale for Black Friday. So I thought I'd try it because people are always worried about my heart rate. I don't know why. So I bought one of these bad boys. So I got a special limited edition, got the HIV red on it. So you just put this thing down, you just put your fingers on it, you hold it down like that for a few seconds, and then it gives you, it does a EKG. There, look at that, EKG reduced to that. Now it goes on your mobile, so I haven't set it up yet. But yeah, I know you guys are worried about my heart rate, so I picked that up. Got a little case for it too. These Chinese always make nice little cases. You know, it's one thing they can do well. There you go. Got a little carabiner on there so I can hook it on my belt. Yeah. So next time I'm in South Africa, we'll check Ronaldo's heart rate out since he's got chest pains. He's not doing well. Poor Ronaldo, man. Sorry to hear about that, Ronaldo. With all these other people's bad health, it's really sad to hear you've got a health issue. Oh, boy. Trump has been going full tilt this year. Let's hope he takes a few days off to play golf with Gary Player. Yeah, that'd be nice. Senator Kennedy disagrees. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You people are spreading fake news. Senator Kennedy doesn't disagree. I report accurately what Senator Kennedy said. Get much rest. Thank you, Delmarie. The link is in your to your John Cena's unveils plans vaccine. What are you talking about, Utopi? The link to what? I'm lost. Oh, the link I gave you? Oh. What What was I trying to give you? That was a while ago. I was going to give you the Bolsparot. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Well, look at that. That was pretty clever. Me wasn't. I wasn't even trying to divert you. Okay, here's the correct link for Bolsparot. I assume that's what Utopia is talking about. That's the link for Bolsparot. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. And I'll double check that that's it. Yep, that's the correct one. Okay, there you go. All right, sorry about that, guys. That wasn't intentional. I probably have those chest pains that Ronaldo's having. So, all right, thank you, Jan Els. Transportation for customers requiring prostitutes was laid on by those. Yeah, the 2010, I know about that one. Yep. Thank you for the stream, says Mark. I've sent you an email. You can get to with that in your own time. Got it. I don't recall what the other thing was, El Marie. Sorry. If Lususi made those crimes, you know he's hiding the other 100 that happened. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Somebody can't stand Steve. Assaulted a journalist for comment on shoes, then calls blacks barbaric for attacking for no reason, yet he did it. Who knows? He might have changed. I have no idea what you're talking about there. I'm not familiar with those situations. DA candidate for Durban is Muslim. Well, it's not a surprise, Shireen. There's lots of Indians there. I will be missing until next Tuesday, Teresa. Okay, we'll be careful. FNM video. Crazy we're not coping with vaccines for this. Always been around. Yep. And Vilma gave a membership. Matthew Dixon got a free membership. Look at that. Our resident friendly troll. Missing Saturday, Sunday, so Sunday. Okay, well, I've got, let me see. I got to check and see where Saturday's game is at. Who's covering it? So, Saturday is the 28th, isn't it? No, it's the 29th, excuse me. Schedule. Let's see if we've got it on Flow Rugby. I think it's actually on Peacock again. 29th. The Bulls are playing? Oh my, so, huh? Have we restarted URC this weekend? Well, I've got to do some picks then. Munster and Stormers. Okay. So when does South Africa play? Huh. Let me look that up real quick. Peacock. It's probably who's got it. Excuse me. Peacock. Come on. Am I still logged in? Yes, I'm logged in. Let's go to sports. And let's go to rugby. Soccer. Screw that. That's not a real sport. It's a candy-ass game. There's rugby. All right. So 11 a.m. 11. That means I'm not going to be able to cover the Stormers game completely. 11 a.m. because I have to cover the South Africa game. And the Stormers come on at 12:30. Oof. I'll have to pick it up in progress. Brandon has become a member. Thank you for that. Yeah. Huh. They're playing Munster. That's a big game. Why are they scheduling it like that? Damn it. We're going to top each other. Shawnee, what's with, somebody give out memberships again? Did I miss that? Somebody's giving out memberships. It wasn't Ronaldo. He's a skinflint. Emil gave them out. Thank you for that, Emil, for those memberships. Exactly, Alan. Those guys, they don't understand American law. Senator Kennedy may reduce the bill, but it doesn't mean it will pass. It might become dead in water like so many bills, just like the AGOA Act is dead in the water. The Bulls, no, they're not the best rugby team in South. That would be the Stormers. You're confused. I can't cover the Bulls versus Lions. That's at 7 a.m. When do the Sharks play? I'm looking. Sharks play at 2:45. I can cover the Sharks. Of course, they would ruin my Stormers game. Damn it. Yeah, because the Springboks are playing Wales. Ugh. Just seeing my drive, I almost have a heart attack. My cardio workout, especially hauling over 10 kgs. Well, Karen, my heart's pretty strong. Okay, what else we got here? The other day you made a comment during the Mamdani Trump meeting that Trump is showing his old libertarian ways recently. Yeah, absolutely. First off, his position on allowing H-1B visa holders and saying that the U.S. is not really libertarian, but I said democratic ways. I don't think I said libertarian. He said that we don't have the skills in America. We have to have H-1B visa holders. That's nonsense. Microsoft, Google, Meta have been firing tens of thousands of U.S. tech workers and importing Indians to do the same job for less. We have the people. These companies are just committing a shameful act against the American workforce. So I don't agree with Trump on that. That's what the Democrats would say, to import foreigners into this country who never leave. That's what they would do, to stealthily get foreigners in this country and divide this country racially, socially, culturally, and politically. So that's one thing he did. He also has met with Mamdani. He was being practical there, pragmatic, so I understand that. But what else has Trump done? He's going to subsidize the soybean farmers. That's what Democrats do. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. The farmers took a risk. It's too bad for them, but I don't agree with paying subsidies. And there's been several other things that Trump has done that I disagree with, and I've called him out on it. Also, he's done some empty-headed virtue signaling, just like Democrats do. This big story he made about, denying temporary protected status to Somalis in Minneapolis because of the fraud. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but how many Somalis are in Minneapolis on temporary protected status? There's thousands of Somalis there. 40 maybe? There's only 705 Somalis in the country currently with temporary protected status. By contrast, there's 606,000 Venezuelans here with TPS. So it's just an empty-headed virtue. It's something Democrats do. So it's another Democratic tendency. And there's been several others, but that's just ones that come to mind. Oh, yeah, he wants to give us $2,000 because of the tariffs. He wants to subsidize American taxpayers. For what? To buy votes for the next election? No, I don't buy that one at all. These are all things Democrats would do. Careful with the sugar drinks. The worst for heart health and all year round. Too young to have heart problems. I need one of those things before my family gave me a heart attack. Where do I buy it? Well, Amazon sells them, and the Black Friday sale, they're on sale. These usually don't go down in price. This is the basic one. There's a more advanced one that does really cool stuff, but this was $69 on sale. So, yep. CEO of Ford stated they have a shortage of 5,000 mechanics within the company and struggle to fill it. I don't know why they have a shortage of 5,000 mechanics, Dirk. I don't know why. We're better not be importing mechanics from India. Seriously? We don't sell Mahindra trucks here. Glad you're taking care of your heart rate, Colonel. Important to eat enough hot foods and spices. Okay, everybody's always got advice. Process just waiting for approval now, says Kanye Stan. Oh, congratulations. Auntie Floyd disappeared. She's back. Hey, I didn't know you left. Sharks don't play. We just arrived. That's true. But we do have a shark theme song. You guys know that, right? You know I came up with a shark song, right? And, I've got the Springbok song. I've got a shark song. Let me see if I've got it in here. Sharks Bite.
From the East Coast winds to the Western Cape, legends rise and stars take shape. Curry in the air, the Sharkies run wild, tidal waves crashing rugby style. Sharks bite, they never let go. Try after try, they steal the show. Champions roar from Durban shore. South Africans lead forevermore. Bismarck's grit, Eben steel, Pepsi's fire, colonial zeal. Callisis storms, Jenny builds, legends carved in rugby fields. Super Rugby Challenge Cup, URC, they're climbing up. Sharks bite, they never let go. Try after try, they steal the show. Champions roar from Durban shore. South Africans lead forevermore. under stadium skies with every tackle, every try.
all the Bulls fans left. We lost an audience here. Dropped 30 people. Sharks bite. Yeah. Steve, of course, is famous for a Blue Bull song. So I have a Stormer song too. I asked Steve if he mind if I did a Bull song. He said no, and I haven't got around to it yet, but I'll be doing it soon. Stormer strike. Need that 2,000 us listen to the Shark song. We'll need to pay for the doctor meds. And welcome to Frenzels 763. Sharks play like guppies. Well, I'm doing a theme song for most of them. I'll do one for the Cheetahs eventually too.
From the mother city where the mountains rise, capped on and sheer under sapphire skies, legends are born in the shadow of Table Bay. They lace up their boots and take the field to play. The Stormers strike, the thunder roars, try after try they open the doors. Champions of the Western Cape, rugby's heartbeat takes its shape. Ruinell running like the wind. Dion for it tackles with a champion's grin.
Already people ask me to play songs I can't play.
Brian Havana speed leaves the world behind. They build the legends bridge.
DJ Soprano says, is it a possibility that CWS constantly withheld updates due to the majority race of the refugees in the U.S.? I don't understand your question. What updates what do you mean by updates? What do you mean by updates? Updating the people who are coming over? Or are you talking about publishing on the website? I need to know what you mean before I can go any further. No, AGOA is not extended. It's a lie, Berto.
By ground.
Stop listening to bullshit artists in South Africa talking their ass off to know what they're talking about.
Super Rugby to the URC. Stormers carve their history. Stormers strike, the thunder roars. Try after try they open the doors. Champions of the Western Cape, rugby's heartbeat takes its shape.
Business Tech ran a story about that? Really? Maybe you guys aren't reading it properly. Half the time people tell me this stuff, they misread a story. Let me see what it says. I didn't say anything on Business Tech when I went there this morning about this. More name changes in South Africa. Oh, there you go. That's where I got the Steenhuisen story. So let me just look for AGOA. Do a AGOA search and see if it... AGOA. Search. You mean September 25th? It says hope for AGOA. That doesn't say that AGOA has been renewed. That's not true. That's fairy tale. That's not true. Not true. Department of Sports, Arts, and Cultures note 140 applications for a name change in the country have been submitted. 53 name change applications have been brought in 2024-2025. Of course, we saw some pretty big ones. Misunderstanding the process, says Gate McKenzie. Really? I'm not misunderstanding the process. It's a racist process. I'm not misunderstanding at all. It's an effort to a cultural genocide. That's what the naming campaign is. It's an effort at cultural genocide. Francois Peterse says, what do the Lions, Stormers, and Sharks have in common? A big shake in their boots when they hear the Blue Bulls stomped. Yeah. I'm sorry. Every time I go to Loftus, the Stormers or Province destroy the Bulls. Updates on the progress website. My case showing progress is ready for travel. No, I don't think so, DJ Soprano. The problem with that is that they'll lose their contract. That's fraud. What you're implying, or what you believe might be happening, is fraud. If that's happening, they will wind up losing their contract and costing them millions of dollars, and they will also likely be prosecuted for it. It's fraud. That's failure to fulfill the contract. I don't believe that's the case. As I've said over and over and over and over again, especially recently, I attribute this to 4 factors. The first one being the rush to get people done. There's a rush. It's the first problem. The second is geographic incompetence, which is causing all kinds of problems. People getting multiple appointments in multiple locations, or being told to come to Pretoria, then going all the way to Cape Town, or vice versa. So rushing to get people through the system. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how many people have been screened recently. Thousands and thousands and thousands of screenings have been taking place, but I'm not disclosing that information publicly about the actual numbers because it's not good. People don't need to know that. So incompetence is one of the things, and geographic ignorance is another one, and poor leadership and poor oversight of the program. But to be fair, these people working full speed, flat out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People like, they're not taking care of me. Really? How many people have told me they've gotten phone calls or had interviews or pre-screening interviews on a Saturday or Sunday? The list is endless. No, what you're saying is not plausible. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's plausible. No, those people would lose their contract, and they're already whining about their contract. But if your comment is, are they not informing people accurately on their website? Yes, because they're evil, racist bastards. Yep, Church World Services, just like the Episcopal Church. It's a racist organization. Yep, who have racial animus towards white South Africans. And they're also ignorant and dumb as a box of rocks. It's not a program for white South Africans. Go article in Business Tech they're referring to as under United States Table's new bill. Okay. All right. Well, then why doesn't it say go when I do a Go search? Okay. Let me do this. United States Tables. Okay. I'll just go United States Tables and see what comes up. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Let me read. I'll read it to you and I'll see if someone misunderstood it or if this is just propaganda. Okay. All right. See, it's a shame to see Business Tech doing this. All right, let me see. Oh, that's not the way to know. We get this one. United States Senator John Kennedy's introduced a bill back weeks ago to extend the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act for 2 years that would explicitly exclude South Africa. The bill was introduced to the U.S. Senate. It doesn't explicitly exclude South Africa. It doesn't. It could. The bill was introduced at the end of September. Yeah, end of September, October. It's almost the end of November, 2 months ago. Tabled, sent to the committee with no further action taken. There you go. The existence of the bill was revealed by the Department of Trade, Industry, and Competition during presentation portfolio. No, it wasn't revealed. The existence of the bill was revealed in September by the Federal Register. It's not my fault that the incompetence of South Africa's Trade Commission doesn't bother to monitor congressional action from its most important trading partner. That's their fault. It wasn't revealed on the 25th of November. It was revealed in September, and I've reported on it since September, over and over again. This is fake news. The department noted that trade negotiations in the U.S. were ongoing. No, they're not. That's a lie. And there was hope that AGOA will be revived. No, there isn't. It said that there was a bipartisan support for renewal of AGOA among both Republican and Democrats. No, there isn't. If there was, then it would have been approved in 2024 when it was introduced by Chris Coons. This is a lie. It's expected AGOA renewal will be a rollover of current benefits with existing members, meaning South Africa may be retained in the program. DTIC mentioned that Kennedy had introduced a bill to renew AGOA for 2 years, which signals interest to renew the program. Now, it's a smokescreen. He wants to punish South Africa. However, the department neglected to mention their bill explicitly excludes South Africa. According to Kennedy, the bill, called the AGOA Extension Bilateral Engagement Act, would extend the programs for 2 years, but only for countries that support U.S. interests. Senator said the program is necessary to counter China's growing influence, but said South Africa's Participation Act would be under review. So see, this is fake news too. They're saying that the South African government neglected to tell you that South Africa was excluded. Then they're telling you that it wasn't excluded. It's a possibility. So that's fake news. This is disappointing by Business Tech. This bill makes sure AGOA works for Americans' interest. Anyway, yeah, this is what it'll do. It'll extend it for 2 years, require U.S. strategy and negotiated bilateral trade agreements, emphasize clear eligibility criteria. That's already there. And incorporate Kennedy's Bilateral Relations Review Act, which doesn't ban South Africa, but it could. Yeah, so this is nonsense. It was introduced in September. It was like Ronnie Jackson's bill introduced back in April in the House. So This is just nonsense. This is fake news. You guys, you need to understand what you're reading, or listen to me. There's nothing there. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. Somebody sent something about a farmer being killed, but I haven't had a chance to see it. So incompetent, overworked, understood people who have IQs at table salt and pushing by athletic leaders who try to run the process. Well, Jack, that's a very unfair statement. You don't know who these people are. That's a very unfair statement. You sound like a bitter ex. You don't know who they are. I've heard from multiple people, and I mean multiple, I'm talking about hundreds of people who've talked about how kind, gracious, understanding, and how productive they were. The fact that people are trying to put an airplane together in mid-flight doesn't mean that the people working are incompetent or unfair. I said incompetent from a standpoint of how the program is organized. That's what I'm talking about. And I am saying there's geographic ignorance. People that are doing this don't know anything about South Africa, whether it's the Americans or the Kenyans. Exactly. It doesn't matter how many times you explain it. Most people don't understand how to read for meaning and don't understand American law at all. Exactly. Sorry I missed your super chat there, Philip. When did it come up? Gauteng's government's core service at risk over 345 mics. Okay. News 24. That wasn't on News 24 when I went there before the broadcast. I went this morning early, about 7 o'clock, and I went a little while ago. There it is. I see it. Okay. Gauteng government's core services at risk. They owe $344 million to Microsoft. Wow. One province owes $344 million to Microsoft. Untimely billing. Now, there's no such thing as untimely billing. Microsoft bills you annually. There's no untimely billing. They bill you every year at the same time. Yeah, Karen, I don't understand people's obsession with numbers being processed either. I understand people's fear is not getting out. Yeah. Don't think you can believe anything somebody puts out. Well, why do it, 7-year-old? Because it's revenge. That's what it is. Yeah, that debt belonged to Jan van Riebeck. So $344 million, and I'll be on Ronaldo in about 3 minutes. Ronaldo, are you ready? See if he sent me a note yet. Oh, he did send it to me. Okay, so I got to drop off here in a second, okay? All right, cool. So, all right. Yeah, it's a core human behavior, but not one for me. Anyway. Excuse me. I might call it 2 o'clock this morning while in the USA from Kenya. Huh? That's interesting. No, Neff, the right lane is the lane you drive in. If you're overtaking, you go in the left lane. We drive on the correct side of the road. Dingbatch just cannot pay Microsoft. Blame it. Yeah, of course. So $344 million. That's going to be divided by 17. 344 divided by 17. That means they owe Microsoft $20 million. Thank you, Sammy Struthers. Happy, lovely day to everyone out here. Be sure to hit the like button before you leave. We haven't hit 500 likes. And you'll be redirected to Ronaldo's broadcast with me if you like Wednesdays with the Colonel. Thanks. And then I'll be tied up until late tonight. So the Night Owls, if I do it, will be a late one probably. Just depends how events go tonight, okay? Thanks, everybody. God bless. See you on Ronaldo. Cheers.